When he saw soldiers marching in rigid fashion through the streets in Germany, begged his parents never to allow him, under any circumstances, to be inducted or drafted into any kind of military service. It was something that was completely against his inner spirit.
Einstein withdrew into the world of theoretical physics.
Einstein has thrown himself.
Read it out loud together. Are you ready? This is your memory verse for the week. Let's read.
All are
.com/TV and get 2 months free.
Hi, I'm Jane King, and thank you for watching. This show is all about public, private, and blockchain companies. We bring you the innovators behind the companies making the headlines in that space. Some are sponsored, some are invited. All are curated and focused on telling you, the viewers, their story. Here we go. COVID vaccines are one way we'll be able to resume a normal life again. And one company working on a COVID vaccine is Tonix. And the CEO and founder, Seth Lutterman, is here with me to explain what they're doing. So, Seth, if you could just kind of start your background and why you decided to be a founder of Tonix.
Well, Jane, thank you very much for having me on and your interest in Tonix. I was a professor at Columbia Medical School, and I founded Tonix to work on important problems. And we've been working on pandemic preparedness for quite a while. I started my career researching HIV. And like many people in the COVID fight right now, the roots of my interest go back to HIV. And a lot of the tools that we're developing were tools that were developed to fight HIV. But now Tonix has grown. We're on NASDAQ. We're publicly traded. And we have quite significant research going on in a number of areas. But we are a research-driven biotechnology company, and COVID is one of our important programs.
Now, we know that Moderna has emergency use authorization from the FDA. Pfizer, Johnson & Johnson is working on that. I mean, can you kind of explain where your vaccine is and how it would fit into this kind of family of vaccines that we're seeing?
First, it's wonderful that the mRNA vaccines already have emergency use authorization, as you say, and I can't wait to get mine. I think that this is a very important step forward for the country, for the world. I think it shows the importance of novel technologies, but there are some unanswered questions, and we are busily working on ours because we think ours has attributes that those vaccines may or may not have.
Okay. Now, you mentioned the mRNA technology, and my understanding, this is the first time it's been used in a vaccine, and it requires the vaccines be really cold, like 95 degrees below zero. So that is one thing that just logistically makes them more difficult to administer, correct?
Yes, and it's remarkable how the United States has been distributing it, dealing with this huge problem, and even under the best hands, sometimes if vaccine is stored at the wrong temperature, it has to be discarded. So this is it's a limitation, but it's also reflective of how incredibly quickly these vaccines were developed. I mean, less than a year. So, I'm in awe of what was accomplished by, Moderna and Pfizer and J&J and AstraZeneca. But you're right. Ultimately, we really need vaccines that can be stored at more reasonable temperatures. That once they are, either thawed or reconstituted, can be stored in a regular refrigerator. And also, we need these vaccines also for the rest of the world, where, for example, in remote places in Africa and India and other places, it's not practical to get something like a Pfizer vaccine deployed there. So yes, ours is designed to be much more robust. And, when it is mass produced, it can be shipped around the world with reasonable storage conditions. But again, the product attributes of ours being more robust, easier to use, etc., that's part of the reason why it takes more time.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the Moderna and Pfizer are two doses. What are you working on?
Yes, so ours is a one-shot vaccine, and that's a very important attribute because it's just human nature. People don't always come back for that second shot. A surprising number of people don't come back for that second shot. And in thinking about vaccination as a public health issue, everyone needs to be protected when everyone gets the adequate vaccination. So if you have people that are not adequately vaccinated, you're really not protecting, the rest of the people. So it's not only a convenience issue, but it's an issue about really protecting the public.
Mm-hmm. So what kind of timetable would you say that you're on? What's next for your vaccine? What does it have a name yet? I mean, and then where do you go? Like, when might we actually see this implemented in a doctor's office, for example?
Well, let me take baby steps first. We are rushing to manufacture it at a quality level that's acceptable for human trials. So we expect to accomplish that this summer, and we expect to commence human testing. Will initially be safety testing this year. So that's about as far forward-looking as I can forecast right now, because it'll be dependent on how desperate society is in 2022 for how quickly we can move forward. If, for example, there's the belief that the existing, maybe by that time there'll be 4 or 5 EUA vaccines. If people think that the pandemic is really under control, we're going to go through a more traditional vaccine development. But on the other hand, if these strains are confounding everyone, if things are really not going as planned, then there's an opportunity for us to move faster.
Well, yeah. Well, that was one question: was if I'm vaccinated, do I still have to wear a mask? But that forward transmission is still a question mark, right? We don't know, even though we're vaccinated, we don't know if we can still spread the virus to somebody else.
Well, let me say unequivocally, people who are vaccinated should continue to wear masks, should continue to practice social distancing, should continue to hand wash, and be just as scrupulous as they were before they were vaccinated. Mm-hmm. One of the common misconceptions of vaccination is that some people believe incorrectly that vaccination protects someone from getting infected. That's simply not correct. Vaccination only changes the outcome of infection. So someone who's vaccinated can still get infected and they can still spread it. But a successful vaccine would lead them to, for example, not die or not wind up on a respirator, et cetera.
Okay.
So I certainly hope that people that are vaccinated will continue to be, to practice all of the safe measures that we've been learning. It'll be a long time before we're out of the woods with those, those precautions.
Okay, long time. Year? No, longer? I don't know.
in Asia, people wore in Tokyo, people were wearing masks, 15 years after SARS. So I think that masks are going to be part of the landscape of humanity.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll say, and we certainly appreciate the work that you're doing, Seth, on this, because I mean, for us non-scientists, I mean, we rely on you to, keep us healthy and live a normal life and get back to work and all that. So we really appreciate what you're doing, and please update us as you continue to do studies with this vaccine.
Well, thank you very much for having me on the show, and thanks for your interest in what we're doing.
Nextech AR just launched a new version of its music app, AirShow. And we are going to be talking to CEO Evan Gappelberg about this. But Evan, before we get into that, just give me a little background. We've talked before, but somebody may didn't see our conversation. Can you talk a little bit about the company and where you're traded? I know you're over the counter. Just give me a background.
Sure. We're listed on the NASDAQ under the symbol NEXCF. The stock trades 400,000 or 500,000 shares a day. It's a pretty liquid stock, and I think our share price is right around $5, $4.50 to $5, right in that range. So, yeah, I mean that's our market cap.
That's right. So, so tell me a little. So you're a pioneer in the AR space, and one thing that was really interesting the previous time that we talked was that you're kind of a pure play in AR, where a lot of companies are in this, but it's a small part of their overall company. You're actually kind of ahead of some of the big tech companies, and when it comes to augmented reality.
Yeah, when you look at the industry, you have all these big players like Apple, where AR is just this tiny little fraction of their business, whereas with Nextech, it is our business. Augmented reality is where we started. We have a full tech stack, be it web AR, which is augmented reality without an app. You don't need an app, which eliminates a lot of the friction points. Whether you want to use augmented reality for e-commerce, we have a solution for that. For education, we have a solution for that. For entertainment, today we just announced that we released our new 2.0 version of our AirShow app, which is human holograms for the music industry. So you can have a hologram of your favorite musician or star or thought leader in your home with you, as if they're there, but it's actually just a hologram. So yeah, we have a lot of tech that is within Nextech that really sets us head and shoulders above any of the competitors, and really defines us as the pure play augmented reality company.
Now, some really futuristic, fascinating stuff. And we introduced a little bit with the music app, but there's also, you have an AI chat that was launched, and this is something kind of Zoom is just now getting going on, or tell me about that.
Yeah, so there's a company called Hopin, which has a almost a $3 billion valuation. And they have an events platform, basically. We also have an events platform, which was every bit as valuable, in fact, more valuable, because we have AR in our events platform as Hopin. And so within that platform, this event platform, we've integrated chat with AI features, which means that if you're chatting using our chat, we could turn you into a human hologram and move you out of the screen into the room with the person you're chatting with. And so, there's video chat, there's also, just text chatting. It's got AI and AR. So within the chat, you can have an AR experience. And then if you think about that chat, functionality, we could break it out of the platform and have it as a standalone product and sell it to other companies, which is a whole nother revenue opportunity for Nextech. So lots of technology, lots of new technology that we keep bringing to market, and super exciting time for us.
Yeah, no, I mean, it sounds like it. And so let's talk about this music app a little bit more. So you could have like your favorite musician kind of hologram in, like describe to me how that works.
Yeah, so that's actually just one use case where you could bring in a Britney Spears or a Taylor Swift. We've already done it with Migos, which is a big brand, a big band. And so you can literally beam somebody in as a human hologram, full size, into your living room.
And any other plans or goals you have?
Yeah, 2021 is going to be a breakout year for us. We're global. We grew in 2020 from 30 employees to 235 employees in 1 year. And that was 2020. In 2021, we're starting off with 235. I actually think we're up to 245 employees now because our business is demanding that we keep hiring. When you look at our technology, it applies to e-commerce, it applies to education, it applies to virtual events. And so when you add it all up, it's over $7 trillion in total addressable market. And when you think about that kind of opportunity, Jane, you need an A-plus team to tackle that big a number. And so I think it's important to note that my COO is an 18-year SAP veteran. My CMO is from Apple Computer. My chief channel officer is from VMware. My chief experience officer is from Disney. The president of our ad network was the president of Microsoft Online, who ran a $10 billion ad network for Microsoft. He's now the president of Nextech's ad network. And then when you look at my global expansion opportunities, we have the director of our APJ region, Yao Boone, who is from IBM. And so it's a lineup of all-stars is really the messaging here, is that we're talking about guys that have come from multi-billion-dollar companies to join Nextech and turn us into the next multi-billion-dollar tech company.
Okay, well, we look forward to getting updates as you reach your goals, Evan. So great to talk to you again.
Great to talk to you, Jane.
Paypolitan allows for mobile payments for both fiat as well as cryptocurrency. Now, we've talked with founder and CEO Nils Theran Ortiz before, but you have some progress to update us on for the business, Nils. But let's start with just people who maybe haven't seen our previous few interviews. Explain Paypolitan. What is it that you're doing?
Thank you for having me again, Jane. So Paypolitan is a mobile app. It allows you to do payment. It works a bit like an Apple Pay, but instead of putting a credit card number, you put your existing bank account, or if you have more than one bank account, you could put several bank accounts and crypto wallets if you have wallets. And then you simply pay with your smartphone wherever there is a contactless payment tool. So during the pandemic, what happened is more and more people are now paying contactless. So cash is decreasing and contactless payment is simply exploding. If you look at the other actors in the market, they all had a plus of 25 to 50% last year. And I think this is a trend that will continue in 21.
Yeah, certainly seems like it is something that's here to stay. So, okay, so Nils, and you're having an IEO. So, explain the IEO and tell us a little bit more about what that means for our audience.
So we are listing our EPAN token, that is a Paypolitan token that is already listed on Uniswap and Galaxy today. On Bitforex. The IO is starting on February 18th, 21, and it is running until March 3rd.
Okay, and then so you talked about Bitforex. Why did you choose that exchange?
Well, for several reasons. Bitforex is a huge tier 2 exchange. It's Hong Kong based. And is also affordable for us. We cannot target a tier 1 exchange at that stage we are. Secondly, they have a very high trading volume. The past 24 hours, they had a $800 million plus trading volume. That is very huge and that is very liquid. So it's a very liquid exchange. And last but not least, we will have access to Asian investors, which is not the case today. And we will add additional trading pairs to our pair we have today.
Okay. And then did Elon Musk tweet about EPAN or what?
He did not. He did not. I'm calling Elon Musk hashtag EPAN or hashtag Paypolitan next time you're going to tweet. And I'm sure he will. Yeah, I'm very happy because Tesla invested just $1.5 billion in Bitcoin.
Right.
And I think that was a huge step for cryptocurrencies, and it will continue. You cannot stop it anymore.
Well, we'll have to come up with a great meme to get his attention, and then maybe he'll tweet about it. We'll see. We'll come up with something, Nils. Great.
Awesome. I count on you.
Great to see you, and thank you for the update. And we look forward to getting more as the IEO gets underway.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Welcome back. Well, we're talking again with the CEO and founder of Pawtocol, Kareem Kazani, who is in beautiful Costa Rica. That looks amazing, Kareem.
Well, thank you. It's a beautiful, gorgeous day out here. It's a beautiful country, very nice people, and after all, they're very eco-friendly, and that's what we are here for.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you. You're not just there vacationing, you're actually doing some business for the company. So explain to me what's going on in Costa Rica.
Basically, we came down here to use our in-house technology that we've created to turn plant waste into bioplastics that are non-toxic and also does not harm the environment. And we are here building our first factory, and this factory will be building bioplastics toys for the pet industry and all type of accessories that your pet usually use.
Okay, and then what does UPI token have to do with Costa Rica?
UPI token has many use cases and many utilities, and one of the utility is the traceability aspect of it. So using our IoT technology, we will be able to trace the bioplastics all the way to the farm where it came from. For instance, there's a pineapple farm we visited. We will have our IoTs trace the pineapple leaves all the way to the end user, so the end user gets to know the story of how the products were made and how they're saving the planet while loving their pets, giving them the bioplastic toys.
Yeah, well, and we talked about this last time, is how you're using the blockchain so that pet owners can know, where products come from. So that's what the token has to do with, right?
Correct. Mm-hmm. Traceability.
Yeah, okay. All right, and then you've also got some other very interesting partnerships going on?
Absolutely. We just recently partnered up with AppSwarm. AppSwarm is a publicly traded company that specializes in building businesses as video games or video games that operate as businesses. And together we created the first video game of its kind where you get to adopt pets virtually, and those pets will actually come from a shelter.
Well, interesting. So, okay, so you kind of get used to it virtually before you take the plunge for a real live animal. So, what about GTX? What is that?
Not to mention,
Go ahead.
GTX. GTX is another amazing partnership. GTX is a GPS manufacturing company that is in 35 countries, and together we will be creating the first Fitbit that uses blockchain, where people get to use it for their pets so they can track their data and get paid for their data. I'm sorry, so think of it this way: a Fitbit measures all of the vital signs of the pet, and that data goes straight to the blockchain using the Fitbit, and it is also connected with the dog tag. So the dog tag is your main entry point. That's your identification. And after that, you can add more accessories such as the Fitbit, so you can measure the vital signs, and those vital signs could be traded as data.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And then any surprises? I know last time we talked, I look forward to this. We always have surprises when we talk. So any more surprises?
Oh, absolutely. We love surprises, don't we? We also are launching our first search engine, or you call it first search engine of its kind, where you will be able to do the same exact searches just like major search engines such as Google, Bing, etc. The only difference, this search engine is dedicated for pet lovers. So while you're using the search engine, all the clicks you generate and all the data you generate, it generates profit, and that profit goes directly to the shelters of your choice. You will have a nice counter on top that says donate to shelters after you generate enough basically search points. And those search points will turn into UPI, which is our currency, and our currency would be able to be donated directly to the shelters of your choice.
Okay.
So in short, a search engine that helps save animals.
Okay. And who can be against that? And it sounds like you've got some very tropical animals behind you there. So.
Yeah, definitely. Well, don't forget that we are here to create plant-based toys.
Okay. No, I'm glad you shared that. So that is a plant-based toy? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, you know what? You froze there. So can you show me that toy again?
I said we are going to be creating these beautiful toys for your pets, made out of plants, just like the plants behind me, made in Costa Rica, pure bioplastics that doesn't harm the planet and also does not harm your pets.
So the toys in the past were petroleum-based?
I am so sorry. That's what, it's a pros and cons in Costa Rica.
We need to work on that. Okay, so in the past, the toys were petroleum-based plastic?
Correct.
Okay, but these are plant-based.
There are billions of dollars spent in petroleum plastics in the pet industry, and all of these toys that you get for your pets are actually not really helping the environment. And what we're just offering is an alternative for people that care about the environment and also our pet lovers. So you'll be getting these toys made out of plant, not plastic.
Okay. Well, we will look for those. We'll look for those in stores very soon. Kareem, so thanks for joining us. Enjoy your time there as you do work, and I assume a little bit of play too.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me again, Jane.
Thank you.
Take care.
I'm David Scranton. When it came time for my mom to retire, one simple mistake forced her to work years longer than she should have.